Please join me in welcoming our presenter, former superintendent, leadership development expert, and toffee maker, Ray Lauk.
I'm Dr. Ray Lauk, and I offer two main programs, Storytelling for Leaders and Fuel for Success. Regardless of which program you choose, both are packed with content, they're engaging, they're interactive. One of the things I learned as a graduate of Chicago's legendary Second City Theater is to incorporate activities, improv games, and other activities that engage people, get them out of their seats, up on their feet, they're having fun, they're laughing, and in the process, they're learning. The first program is Storytelling for Leaders. Storytelling is one of the most effective communication techniques for leaders and speakers. And it's effective because it communicates our beliefs, our values, our priorities in a way that demonstrates those values and those beliefs.
It actually goes back to the time when I was a student teacher. My supervising teacher was a man named Monty Whiteley. He always wore one of those kind of beige windbreakers. I think the real reason Monty always wore that was to keep his cigarettes, which was always Virginia Slims. And he drove a 1959 Ford Edsel. And it was one of those cars with kind of at one time it was red, but after decades of being in the hot Colorado summer suns, it was more of a bleached out, kind of a rusty-ish kind of looking red. And he was the kind of teacher that administrators hated, kids loved him.
It makes us and our words memorable because we developed rich, robust, well-crafted stories. And the good news is that you don't need 1,000 different stories for every situation you're ever in. The good news is you need a handful of stories. And in my workshops, we develop a handful of well-crafted stories that are rich with details that make you, the storyteller, the leader, the speaker, memorable because you've communicated by demonstrating.
On my first day of student teaching, I walk into the classroom bubbling with excitement and enthusiasm, and I pass Monty on the way out. He says, "If you need me, kid, I'll be in the lounge." So throughout the week, I am teaching my brains out. Monty would be in and out of the classroom, and at the end of the week, I was just exhausted. Saturday morning at 6 a.m., my phone rings. It was Monty. He said, "Do you remember on Monday, Jason asked you a question?" I said, that was a long time ago. I really don't. He said, "Well, he asked you how your weekend was." I go, "Okay, well, that's kind of familiar, I guess." "And do you remember what you told him?" I guess I said, "Well, it was okay." "You jackass." Maybe, just maybe, that boy wanted a little male attention. And the best you got for him was, "It was all right." He spent the next 3 hours giving me the most insightful feedback I have ever received in my career. And then, after 3 hours, he paused. And he said, "Ray, I'm out of beer." He said, "Would you mind going to North Boulder Liquors and picking up a case of Schlitz Tall Boys?" So I got dressed, went over, bought the beer, well, the Schlitz, brought it to him, and then spent the rest of the day drinking Schlitz with him and receiving more feedback. It was the most insightful feedback. Here's the test. Do you think I really told you this toffee story just to fill up time? I did it for a secret reason. What was the name of my supervising teacher? Monty. What car did he drive?
59.
59 Edsel. What color was it?
Red.
Red? What kind of red? Rusty, kind of bleached out. Schlitz Tall Boys was his favorite beer. What was his cigarette? Why on God's green earth do you remember those details? They were part of the story because of the context. I drew details. I gave you details. Stories make us memorable. In that story about Monty, what was the lesson that I learned? Every interaction with a student, no matter how fleeting and quick, is an opportunity to deepen and extend the relationship. I never forgot that. And that communicated to you what I believe. That tells you what my values are as a teacher because of that story.
Fuel for Success is the program that's based on my original book, Fuel for Learning. And in this program, we teach participants the behaviors to accomplish their goals and to get results. Fuel stands for focus, urgency, energy, and learning from what works. These are the behaviors that work well for both individuals and also for organizations to keep everyone on track to meeting those goals and to getting results. In this workshop, I teach participants how to intentionally incorporate these behaviors into their daily routines so that they accomplish more.